Hey, Chris, are you ready to do the episode about
Yeah, I'm ready to talk about.
Did you
Hear that?
Sorry guys, it's my new Chinese camera. I accidentally switched the auto sensor on.
Auto sensor sensor?
I wonder what it automatically censors.
Tibet.
Tiananmen.
It's taboo. Forbidden. Unspeakable in Chinese society. Alan, turn it off! Anyways, as I was saying, Falun Gong, the Chinese Communist Party's most taboo subject. How taboo? Let me put it this way. Chinese internet police blocked a town in Sweden that just happened to be named Falun. That is unbelievable. I've been exposing the Communist Party for 5 years. How come the party's never censored Christopher, Illinois? What makes Falun Gong so much scarier than me? I'm gonna find out. Back in 1999, former Chinese leader and already squished Frogger Jiang Zemin vowed to eradicate Falun Gong in 3 months. But for a group of people who seem to largely sit quietly, stand quietly, or march quietly, this traditional Chinese meditation practice has been noticeably hard to eradicate. In fact, more than 10,000 Falun Gong practitioners held a massive parade in New York City to celebrate the 25th anniversary of when the practice was introduced to the public. A parade sounds harmless enough, right? Wrong. Otherwise, why would the Chinese Communist Party spend more than $1 million to try and stop a much smaller Falun Gong parade in Hong Kong? Clearly, I needed to take a closer look at the parade. Well, that was a lot of fun, but I still don't know the secret to their success in riling up the Chinese Communist Party. Maybe a more direct approach is in order. Tell me, what's the secret to your success in riling up the Chinese Communist Party?
Well, I believe it's actually the compassion. You see, the compassion.
Compassion is a really feisty thing. So, you guys believe in truth, compassion, and plaid, correct?
Truth, compassion, and tolerance.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I can tolerate that outfit. What's your secret to riling up the Chinese Communist Party? Oi, crikey. Really like your hat.
Thanks, mate.
What's with the outfit?
With the outfit, yeah. It's a national outfit from Poland. So we want to show the traditional outfits from each country.
Are you sure there's no fashion police, Communist Party fashion
Okay.
police after you? So, what happens when you tell Chinese people that you practice Falun Gong?
Actually, they're quite surprised. I have a limited engagement with Chinese people in the mountain town of Colorado. But when I come to the city and they see a Westerner, especially someone wearing a shirt like this, discuss Falun Gong. And
You do have another shirt.
I have a couple of shirts.
What happens when you tell a Chinese person that you practice Falun Gong?
Yeah, a lot of times, like, they're scared. They think that it's a bad thing, that the reactions are very strange.
What happens when you tell a Chinese person that you practice Falun Gong?
Well, it depends. Sometimes when I'm in my university, they'll either take photos or be really curious that even a Westerner is practicing it because it's not allowed in China. So when they see that it's actually in Australia and we've got a club in our university.
Oh, you're Australian. I hadn't realized.
Yeah.
Well, these practitioners are playing their cards pretty close to their chest. Maybe what I need is an outside perspective. So what do you think about the Falun Gong parade?
It's really pretty. I didn't know what it was. I'm just glad that I'm here to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, do you think they look a little dangerous or subversive?
Oh, they don't look dangerous.
Oh, no?
I don't know, not to me.
Don't you think there's something a little subversive or dangerous about these people?
Oh, no.
Dangerous or subversive about these people?
Not these people, but I think the Communist Party was violent, strong at some point.
Did they pay you to say that?
I don't think so.
So what do you think of Falun Gong?
That's as good. Always as good.
Since the beginning of the Communist Party's crackdown, Falun Gong practitioners have refused to be silent, which is different from being quiet, which they are. They've spoken out about the thousands known to have been tortured to death in labor camps and prisons, about the likely hundreds of thousands more who have been killed for their organs, about how a certain former Frogger leader is responsible for these crimes. Since the Communist Party apparently can't silence Falun Gong, they try to silence the people who talk about it. After Wall Street Journal reporter Ian Johnson won a Pulitzer Prize for his coverage of the persecution of Falun Gong, he was banned from China. He had to write a communist-style self-criticism before he was allowed back in. Reader's Digest pulled a thriller written by an Australian author because the mother of one of the supporting characters practiced Falun Gong. Yes, the Chinese Communist Party was worried about a fictional character practicing Falun Gong in the backstory of a thriller set in Antarctica that wasn't even going to be published in China. It was just being printed in China. Even a David Bowie concert in Hong Kong was threatened because his drummer practiced Falun Gong. As far as I'm concerned, all the censorship is just more proof that there must be something more subversive going on with Falun Gong. What is the most subversive thing you've ever done?
What do you mean by subversive?
And what's the most subversive thing you've ever done, besides wearing this shirt?
Let's see. That's a tough one. Maybe...
Have to choose between a lot of things?
Well, you know, I'm going through the list right now mentally.
What's the most subversive thing you've ever done?
Like against the Chinese party, Communist Party, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Like giving leaflets and telling the truth about... Yeah.
You know, I got kicked out of the Waldorf Astoria once for trying to interview Xi Jinping. So, what's the most subversive thing you've ever done? I got banned for life from the Waldorf Astoria for trying to interview Xi Jinping.
I went to Tiananmen Square and held a banner and got thrown into an underground basement cell in a prison in Beijing.
So what's the most subversive thing you've ever done?
I went to Tiananmen Square.
Does everyone go to Tiananmen Square?
Not everyone, but a lot of people, especially if you're in China.
They twisted my arms, they kicked me and forced me into...
Like actually not like, oh, he twisted my arm, but like he twisted my arm.
Yes, yes.
I mean, I got banned from the Waldorf Astoria for trying to interview Xi Jinping.
Oh.
I mean, I'm doing a lot from New York, but I'm making a difference.
You are. You're pushing buttons and you're making people laugh, and it's awesome.
Yes, thank you. So what can I do to get more on Beijing's radar from the safety of New York? Not that I'm concerned about my safety, but just if I travel budget and all. If I had to stay in New York, what could I do?
Have you been doing interviews inside the embassy and outside the embassy?
No. So what could I do that doesn't involve going outside of New York and not going to the Chinese embassy or consulate?
Oh, I guess it's the internet. The internet is a way, and you're a bit of a force on there. I think keep that up.
I am.
Keep building it up.
I am. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, you are right. Well, I'm at the end of the parade, which happens to pass by right in front of the Chinese consulate. And I never did figure out what made Falun Gong so subversive. But at least I now know that I'm doing something pretty important right here in New York. Thanks for watching this episode of China Uncensored. Once again, I'm your host, Chris. What was that? Chris? Am I being auto-censored? I am being auto-censored! I am sticking it to the party!
Hey, thanks for figuring out how to manually add Chris's name to the auto-censor sensor.
Yeah, sure. I was kind of surprised about how happy he was about getting censored, though.
Celebrities are weird.